Hey everyone, welcome in. Thank you for joining me. My name is Marlene. I'm with A Room to Bloom. I wanted to bring forth a message today. We're going to add a couple different elements in here today, if you will. So we are going to start out with a deck called Heart and Soul Cards. These are by Sylvia Browne. Um, and I just kind of want to see what comes through. I haven't used these for a while, just was drawn to these today. So just asking Spirit to bring through a message here that would be helpful for you on your journey. What would you like to bring through for the collective? Okay. Interesting. Somebody's just speaking on this. It speaks about, well, the message is white light. Okay. Notice that picture behind me with that light there. Isn't that beautiful? Just really, if you are in dark times, remembering to focus on white light, lighting candles, keeping lights on in your home, outside light, right? Really just working to be in the light if you are struggling in darkness, okay? So what it says here is that everyone encounters dark-souled entities as well as dark energy at some point or another. Dispel the darkness by surrounding yourself with the white light of the Holy Spirit and by asking God and the angels for protection. So you can start each and every day. I'm just going to turn this down. I'm getting some feedback here. Each and every day that you know, speaking with the Holy Spirit, asking God and the angels for protection. And then on a second note, when you step outside of your home, right, when you get into your vehicle, you know, when you are going into places. So like if you forgot, you know, because it is a practice, right? So if you kind of forgot, it's okay to, you don't have to wait till you're at home and it's morning. You can do this and ask wherever you are, whatever you're about to step into, wherever you are in any given moment, right? So, you know, it can be challenging to understand this dark-souled entities, um, as well as dark energy when people talk about dark matter. But you know, the darkness likes to focus on the light like a moth to a flame. So just seeking protection in that and guidance is a great practice. Okay, so the next card that we're going to go to is let's see, what would you like to show us for the collective? Okay, we have appreciating success. Okay, so it looks like this person kind of looks like they're holding white light or by their heart, right? They're appreciating their success. Sometimes we fear the word success because we believe that too much is expected of us. If we view success as something we do for ourselves, the fear vanishes and we can appreciate what we have accomplished, right? So it's that reversing that you're doing it for others. When you do what brings you joy and lights you up, you simply are invigorated, right? You're given this energy to continue on in that work, right? And then it's like a cup that is filled overflows. So just appreciating the success that you have in your life and being in gratitude for that. Okay, what else would you like to tell us about here? We have a butterfly and we have your reputation. Butterflies represent a transformation, okay? People may try to ruin your reputation, which is interesting, right? So we have that white light stepping out into the white light, but this can hurt. But remember, it can only hurt your feelings. The world will forget. So don't hold on to bad publicity or what others say. You and God know the truth, so let the rest of it go. Think about celebrities who, you know, some people get really, really caught up in the hype of that kind of stuff, and it kind of can downward spiral for them. But if you're like, I'm, you know, as long as I'm not hurting anyone and I'm doing what brings me joy and I'm working to bring light into the world, right? Others who, what? Dark entities may not like your light. It might be too bright for them where they then are facing their own stuff and they don't want to sit in that, right? So they may try to ruin your reputation, especially as you gain success. Um, but just continue to hold tight. You know, you've got Archangel Michael around, right? Um, so just know it's like, you know, the truth. It's between you and God. Okay, what else do we have here? We have bliss. Okay, so someone is, I don't know, you can look at that, climbing in a window or they're climbing out of one, right? We cannot find total bliss in this world, right? We're going to have the highs and the lows, but we can preview it and even at times feel overwhelmed with joy, which is interesting. I just did a reading and that was the overall message of the whole reading was joy. So this could be accomplished by accepting the universal truth that God is all love, right? And so we will have highs and lows, and that is so that we can understand. We have lows so that we can understand the highs, and we have highs so that we can understand the lows. And it's like this, and that means we're living, right? Okay, so let's see what else comes up here. Okay, we have spirituality. No surprise that this came up here. Spirituality is a constant search to advance our souls for God, even through adversity. If we continually delve into this subject, we will realize a common universal truth. God is good and God loves us immensely, right? So that's what spirituality is. It's like this weaving. God is in all of this, right? And it's like and you know, the universe is infinite, right? So it's expanding. Like we can expand our consciousness and be learning about this and tapping into more. So it's a constant search to advance our souls. We are here for soul growth in this human experience, right? So kind of neat that that is coming up. Okay, so I thought that I would take some charms. And so I have this little tray here in this dish. So I'm just going to reach into, I don't know, it's not the greatest here, but I'm just going to kind of grab a handful here and see what comes up. So I'm just going to set that aside. You guys, the one that fell over on the side here on my computer mat is joy, right? So just that added confirmation, it's almost like 3 in a row here that we've got. So so these are the messages. The first one we have is a coffee cup with a heart in it, right? So just what brings you joy? Having coffee in the morning, just something relaxing, maybe with someone that you love, right? Someone that you love could be asking you to coffee. Okay, the next one that we have is an anchor. You're being called to anchor in a situation. Now, I'm going to tell you something. That white light, you know, it's so interesting. I have to say this. So when we look at this heart, that's like the white that's in the darkness of the coffee. I was just writing about this. Anyway, I was thinking of speaking about it or writing about it. But anyway, that's in the darkness of the coffee, right? So being that white light, living from the heart center, right? Around anything that is dark, okay? And then I want to get back to this. So this anchoring into your success, right? That, what does that mean? It talks about getting grounded. And so if you feel like your feet are off the ground and you're, you know, like if someone has a lot of success and using the term, they're flying high, right? Because, you know, it could be a whirlwind of success, but when someone remains anchored in their experience and holds their values and their true north, and they're anchored into like the earthly experience as well as their spiritual experience, then it's not just like flying away like a kite. So remembering to stay anchored in your success, anchored as you're successful, anchored into your experience is what I'm trying to say. Like, don't get so lost in the wind, if you will, right? Okay, your reputation. So here we have a ship's wheel, right? So again, even though someone may be trying to steer the boat of your reputation, you know the truth. You know the true way. You know your connection with God, and you know what the story is, right? So stick to your true north, and that's where your value is. Okay, we're gonna go a little further here. I'm not gonna look at this, but we have, okay, under bliss, we have, this is a dog in a doghouse. Okay, now it's so interesting because it's the same shape. Of course, the door frame of the doghouse is the shape of the window, right? Um, and this was, we cannot find total bliss in the world. So somebody may be feeling like they're a bit in the doghouse, if you will, right? And that's, sometimes, you know, the metaphor to that is like someone who, kind of has gotten in trouble with someone in a way, right? They're in the doghouse. You'll hear people talk about that in relationships, if you will. And that things are not always bliss. There are going to be highs and lows, right? Ups and downs, etc. in this. But just knowing that we are loved by God, and that's what the overall message is here. Okay, what else do we have? Okay, under spirituality, we have a graduation cap that you have graduated, right? That you've come to a point in your spiritual journey. You've been educating yourself, right? That's what the graduation cap says. It's like, I've been doing the work, and I don't get this cap, and I don't get to graduate unless I've done the work, right? So on your spiritual journey, this is saying you've done the work. I have goosebumps here. It is that constant search to advance our souls. So this is also like we are for the forever student, right? The constant search. We don't have to say, okay, I've learned that, and that's all I'm going to learn. No, we can keep learning. We can keep advancing, right? And we if you will, graduate to new levels of spirituality, new levels of vibration, new levels of understanding. Okay, what else do we have under the white light? Okay, so we have the tennis racket, and one of the things I see the tennis racket is something that's going back and forth, right? Again, everyone encounters dark energies, right? So who have you been going back and forth with? Now the thing is that also is coming to me is when someone plays tennis, they call the last scoring point love. Love is the match, right? And you know, it's interesting, right? Because you could have been playing tennis with someone who maybe was in their darker energy, but it's like you bring the light, you bring them a good match, right? You could be a good match, like yin and yang. They might help you say there's more than just all this light going on here, so tune in and pay attention. But you might say, hey, look at the light here, right? And so this tennis match could be something that's been going back and forth. All right, what else do we have here? We have, okay, so this is the hacksaw. So appreciating success. The hacksaw to me speaks about getting through something that has been challenging, okay? That has been hard. If this was like a wood saw, it wouldn't be as hard. But the hacksaw goes through different types of, like it can go through like a metal or something like that, right? So this falls under that appreciating success. It may have been very challenging, right? And so you have the ability to get through something challenging by anchoring in, right? Anchoring into that. Okay, what else do we have? Okay, so we have a paw, okay? So there's a couple of different things that I get when I have this paw sign come up, and that is, so the first thing is your reputation, okay? And what is your true north? And who has been trying to, people may try to ruin your reputation. Why? Okay, so when we think of paw, we can think of a number of things. We can think of paw prints, someone who left, you know, when you think of a pet or a dog, people will often say they left paw prints on my heart, right? meaning they came and they made an impact in my life in some way. Now, some people, even though they had paw prints on their heart, which is generally an endearing, words of endearment, if you will, um, if someone left, they could feel hurt and try to ruin someone's reputation. The other word, of course, that is coming to me is pa, father figure. In the tarot deck, the emperor is represented by the father figure or a boss. Uh, so there could be somebody who doesn't really, maybe you left where you were working, right? And so they might not like that you left, right? So it could be causing havoc there. But continue to stay to your true north here. Okay, what else do we have under bliss and the doghouse? Okay, so we have fish, the goldfish. So this is like go with the flow of a situation. Okay, go with the flow. Understanding that there are going to be highs and lows. And so if someone is in the doghouse, you're being encouraged to go with the flow. Now the fish swims in water. So someone could be feeling that they're in their emotions deeply, right? But everything is not always going to be bliss. There are going to be highs and lows. So it's saying feel the feelings, okay? Feel the feelings. Just move through them. Know that they will pass through you. Okay, I have 2 left, but I'm still not going to look and see which one I'm getting here. So under the spirituality and the graduation camp, we have the hammer. Okay, and the hammer says you're building something. Okay, you are building something. Something is being built. The hammer pounds in a nail, right? It can also take something apart that isn't working, any longer, right? So like it can be used for a dismantling, but it can be used for construction in various ways, right? So there could be construction going on in your spiritual life at this time, like a deconstructing. In fact, I wanted to speak on this. I saw a truck yesterday, and the words were, um, it said precision dismantling. Okay, and that can be like if you are riding high in your journey, however you want to say that. And then there comes a tower in your life. This can be like darker energies that are trying to dismantle what you had built. Okay, and so just keep in mind that it looks like things have been and or are under construction, but you have the power to rebuild and to build whatever it is that your soul desires to build, right? With the hammer. Okay, the last one is the Hamsa hand. And this is a hand of protection. It is a symbol of protection. So, people will wear these for necklaces. But again, it's just that reminder to keep yourself and your energy protected at all times. And we started that out with that white light card, right? That we can ask for protection each day, regularly, every day. Okay. And then the next deck that I wanted to use here is the sorry, I wasn't sure where I put them. It's called the Crystal Grid Oracle. And so let's see what comes up. But one of the things I want to read on the inside of the box, it says, when we do the inner work, our world changes. Okay? When we do the inner work, that means sitting with ourselves, feeling our pain, what's coming up, triggering us, etc. When we do that work, when we look at it and we stop running from it or denying that it's there, we start to heal, right? Our world starts to change on the outside because we're healing the inside. All right. We're going to shuffle one more time here and see what comes up. Okay, what do you have for the collective? Deep healing, right? So this is just exactly what this big message is about, you know. Azurite and Malachite, which is so interesting because I actually have Malachite sitting out because I used the stack not that long ago and I went looking for it. I had it, a piece of it put away. But there is a deep healing that is taking place. This is the grid that is laid out. I am going to use the book, but I'm not going to use it quite yet. I'm just going to bring the cards through first. So the deep healing falls, you know, in the situation with the white light and the dark light and playing tennis and potentially in a relationship. There's a deep healing that is taking place. But the light wins. I just had confirmation. Okay. Soul healing, tangerine quartz. Okay. So, you know what's really interesting that I noticed? So this falls with that appreciating success card. There's a soul healing that is taking place. I'm going to hold up the other card because look how similar the colors are, right? Appreciating success. There is a soul healing here. So tangerine quartz might be something that will help you. Anything that is orange, right, is correlated with our joy center, right? And so appreciating success, being grateful for it. Okay, what else do we have here? We have clarity. So this is Herkimer diamond, okay? So like a clear diamond, right? And a diamond is formed after what? Intense pressure. So this falls under that card about the reputation. It may have put someone under extreme pressure, and now clarity is being brought to the situation, okay? And that could be to the people who, if someone was trying to ruin someone's reputation, to the people that they were speaking to, whatever, now clarity is coming to them, going, oh, that was not the authentic truth here, right? Okay, under bliss, tell us about this one. Okay, we have bloom, saracite. So I used this deck, I said, just not that long ago, and this card came up in it again. This pink, right, is also representative of healing. Okay, what are we healing? We're healing a situation where somebody might feel like they're kind of been in the doghouse. They're trying to go with the flow of it. They're starting to understand not all of life is bliss, right? That we have the highs and lows, the ups and downs, okay? Under spirituality, what would you like to show us for the collective with the graduation cap, the hammer, and the hammer? We have nature spirit, chlorite, and quartz. Okay, nature spirits. So you could be tapping into the elementals, right? Nature spirits may be working with you, and that's interesting because it falls under spirituality as well. So let's go ahead and go to the book under the deep healing. Okay, azurite and malachite. It says, deep healing is occurring now, or it may need to happen, and many changes can be occurring in your life at this time. Azurite and malachite are known to bring very deep emotions to the surface. It is necessary to release these emotions before healing to occur, right? So when people talk about like the moon and things going on and that you're feeling some sort of way, the moon has a way to pull things up. Even if we're not sitting with ourselves, but we're feeling beside ourselves, right? So these two stones or crystals are known to bring very deep emotions to the surface. But you have to, in order for that healing to take place, you have to release them, okay? Holding on to an emotion can take more energy than simply letting it go. Think about if something were in your hand. Okay, here's joy. I like that, right? And you're just hanging and hanging and hanging on to it. But say it was a different word on here. It takes a lot of energy to squeeze this tightly versus if you just open your hand and release it, right? Um, it's like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. That's such a great example. It takes a lot of energy to keep it down. It will keep trying to rise. Once you let it go, the struggle, once you let it go, the struggle ceases to exist. Just as you are going through these changes, so also is the earth, okay? In the way that the Azurite and the Malachite can look like a satellite view of the earth, this card represents as above and so below, as within, so without. I was just speaking about that in a couple other videos recently. So allow yourself to release whatever has been buried and know that as you heal, so too does this healing occur around you. Deep healing can occur if you have enough strength to look at yourself or your situations from a higher perspective and with compassion. Things don't happen to you, they happen for you. That's to help push us to the surface or push us higher, right? We get squeezed, if you will, like a tube of toothpaste. We get squeezed to the top. You know, it's not necessarily comfortable, but it helps us to rise, right? Um, when you learn to grow from the situations you go through, you can then understand that everything is an opportunity from which to grow. It doesn't mean that what happened was okay, but rather you have risen above it to a higher level of understanding and can look back with compassion and gratitude. Learn to go through what you go through, right? Um, So it's about being real and honest with yourself in your experiences. Did you keep running from them? Did you learn any lessons from what you went through? You know, and I say you, but you know, this is me as well, right? So, okay, the next one is soul healing. Again, appreciating success, and it is the tangerine quartz. Um, Okay, tangerine quartz is a powerful tool for healing the soul. It is said to help with trauma or shock of any kind, soul retrieval, and past life healing, and can show your soul how to see the positive in the lessons it learns. Shamans believe that when we experience trauma or shock, a part of our soul fragments or remains stuck in that time of our life. If you have ever felt you haven't been the same since a certain event happened, it could be a good opportunity to journey back to that event and to bring that part of your soul home. So that is could be revisiting very painful memories. And when people go to like therapy, you know, they start, they tap in, they tap in, they tap in, they keep going back to it. Sometimes, you know, but it's like you have the real success once you break open, if you will, break that open and let the emotions flow. So sometimes you can also be reliving your past life energy. Generally, if you keep doing something or a certain situation keeps happening and you have no idea why, it can indicate past life healing is needed. Working with a shaman can help you in this situation, as can calling on the healing energy or spirit of tangerine quartz. Tangerine quartz will help you help your soul heal and understand the lesson or gift in each trauma or learning experience. Tangerine quartz is also a beautiful aid to help you with creativity and raising Kundalini energy, which are both healing activities for the soul that allow you to release blockages and to nurture yourself. Again, joy is represented by the color orange. The sacral chakra is represented by the color orange. Our joy center, our creativity, what are we passionate about when it comes to that type of thing? Okay, the next one is clarity, the Herkimer diamond, which falls under the reputation here. Okay, a time of clarity awaits you. Your question has been heard. You have asked for answers, and the situation is about to become crystal clear. Very interesting, right? How they show that. It may also be a time for you to be clear with your intentions. When you know what you want, your thoughts send out clear intentions to the universe for the law of attraction to manifest it for you like a magnet. Okay, Herkimeras are also small crystals, but very powerful ones. So too can a small but clear intent be powerful, right? Um, Small but clear. Okay. Trees are the greatest teachers. Not only are they, I'm sorry, I just want to see something. Pardon me. So when you feel stuck around a situation or you are not manifesting what you want in your life, it could be a time that you need to access exactly what you want and how it would look. Assess what you want and how it would look if you already had it, right? So you want to feel that energy. You want to embody that energy. You want to be that energy, okay? Sometimes what you think you want isn't what you want at all. Sit down and really think about what you want your life to look like on the job, car, or partner, the partner you desire. Whatever it is you really wish to have, picture yourself having already achieved it and then feel it as if it, feel if that is really what you want. Once you have the picture clear in your mind, the universe can bring it to you. Because if you don't know what you want, the universe can't bring it to you. Herkimer clears your chakras and it removes blockages, which helps to activate your light body and discover your soul purpose by helping you to release past life traumas. So yet again, Herkimer clear your chakras and it removes blockages, which helps to activate your light body and discover your soul purpose, by helping you release past life trauma. They are strongly associated with your crown chakra, which is your connection to your soul purpose and the higher realms. It is a good tool to meditate with and ask for guidance when in need. Okay, so clear quartz, right? And this is the Herkimer diamond, but quartz too. Clear quartz can also aid in this clarity. And so you may be seeking clarity regarding a situation where somebody may have been speaking ill on your name, right? So asking for clarity on that. Ask your angels and guides to show you who was doing and or saying that. Having compassion and forgiveness for them, but still standing true in your power because you know where you're at. It's between you and God, right? Okay, the next one is Bloom, and it's Saracite. Again, this is a pink stone here. Let's see. Blooming, transition, and motivation. Again, it falls under that bliss card where it can't be blissful all the time. It says Saracite, golden, Herkimer, diamond, and rose quartz and quartz. So rose quartz is pink and quartz is white. Or, yeah, kind of clear. Saracite or cherry blossom stone is a very unique stone from Japan. It starts off as a mineral called cordierite, but when it is naturally hydrothermically altered, it turns into mica and it becomes saracite. What makes it special is that it looks like cherry blossoms, the cherry blossoms of Japan. These stones are tiny. The centerpiece of the grid is just 4 millimeters wide. You don't need to be big to blossom. So we have two of those messages, right? You have undergone massive changes that can only happen under the right circumstances and have come through the other side stronger and shining a radiance that is seldom seen. Just like the beauty of the cherry blossom, when we bloom, we all bloom together. I love that because this channel is called A Room to Bloom, right? We're blooming together. We are beautiful, breathtaking even. Something draws us in that we can't stop looking at. And while each cherry blossom is beautiful on its own, when seen as the whole in the different stages of growth, it is something to behold. The bloom indicates all the work you have put into the change, who you are as a spiritual, emotional, and physical being. It may have been a time of great pressure or emotion, but the stress has paid off. You are now through and ready to show the world what you have to offer. Like cherry blossom, cerussite is incredibly delicate and it can be crushed between your fingers. The Japanese sometimes coat them to preserve their beauty. A single flower only gets the chance to bloom once. But every time you go through a transition, you can bloom again and again, especially when you know how it worked out the last time. You might you might welcome upheaval and transition when you understand that things will work out for the best, right? Interesting that that falls under the bliss card, right? So you might be going, okay, what's the next challenge? What's the next level, if you will? Okay, and then under nature spirit, under the spirituality. Okay, chlorite and quartz. Nature spirit, growth, and cleansing. Chlorite is a member of the mica group and is widely found within many types of metamorphic rocks, which means that they have started out in one form only to be changed to another form under certain conditions, such as heat or pressure. It's what gives the quartz centerpiece in the grid its distinctive deep emerald green color. In order to grow, you must lay down strong roots that you can draw from. Chloride in quartz helps you connect with the realm of nature spirits and fae, as well as resonate with the soul of the earth. For this reason, it is also a strong cleanser that aids in self-healing and regeneration of your body. Coupled with the striking piece of agerine above it, chloride in quartz makes a high vibrational card of cleansing and aligning yourself to nature. The fae and nature spirits are not like the romanticized artworks of the Victorian era. They are energy beings that have been here for millennia and sometimes choose to work with humankind. Creating a strong connection with them requires respect and an open heart. Be aware of the green of the stones, the green of nature, and the green of your heart chakra. All are connected and all can help heal on a physical, emotional, and spiritual level. When you allow yourself to become aligned with nature, you allow nature to cleanse you, and you become an open channel to your natural surroundings. When you cleanse, you make room for fresh energy to come into your being, and this helps you to grow. Working with nature in your heart center is vital for your body and spirit. Allow the fae and nature spirits to guide you. Do you feel drawn to working with plants or herbs? Even something as simple as wanting to get a pot plant. This could be your calling to start exploring or expanding in this area, right? So bringing more green into your life, especially if you live in a busy city where you don't have as much around, right? Or taking time each day, if you can, or as often as you can, to get outside and to simply be in nature, right? Okay. And it's really interesting that that falls under the spirituality card. Yeah, I just love that message. Okay, so I think that that is it for today. I want to say thanks for joining me. I hope this was helpful and encouraging for you. Take care.